Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 30 of Stat Check. This episode is entitled Are Guard Players Okay? And the answer is and always will be no. But it's very important that we discuss the reasons why on occasion, because it's very important that you remember that for your health and everybody's, the guard players are not okay. I'm Ennis. I've been away for a few weeks, which is why I am the fair weather host, because I only show up when it's good for me, apparently, such as when I'm not in planes or asleep or on planes.
Or not on planes. Very specifically, frustratingly not on a plane.
Frustratingly not on planes is another good reason. Yeah. Not on a plane when I should be, on a plane when I should be, and on a plane when I shouldn't be are the three reasons I've not showed up so far. And then when you guys made me sleep once, which, as these things go, I can't complain too much. I will be talking about my LVO experiences a little bit today because I missed the boat on the main episode where we were talking about it. Otherwise, I'll be talking about my general last almost month in 40k. But how are you two?
This one.
There we go.
I was gonna say he already went, but yeah, I'm. You'll probably hear it a little bit. I'm recovering from flu, cold, con crud, whatever the hell it was that I picked up in Vegas. On top of all that secondhand smoke, so after that, I'm doing pretty well. Getting ready for the Stutter Snotling major that's happening in 4 days, which is going to be a lot of fun.
Sure, you know what?
I don't know if Francois showing up. He's my nemesis when it comes to winning events. Yeah, and that's where I'm at right now. I'm just eagerly and digging through and eagerly awaiting to see what Omens really has in store for everyone. Anthony?
The signs and omens not showing you what you want at the moment?
It's very weird. We'll talk about it when I go over the stats because I'll talk about all of Omen so far, and it's very odd.
You can only have so much fun in the coin flip meta. So I'm doing pretty good. My army comes out this week, so it was nice for GW once again to personally craft an army for me. The last time this happened was Drukari, so thanks a lot. We'll see.
Have you told anybody how hard it is to play yet? Like, I feel like we're still waiting on that.
I mean, it's not easy to play, but it's not that hard.
You never know whatever Anthony's playing right now is like the hardest army in the game.
Nah, the macro is simple. The micro is not that easy. But yeah, that's it.
The
also,
coin flip required can be a bit challenging.
The hardest army to play in the game is whatever David Gaylord's currently playing.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
So, yeah, things are going pretty good. Played the army a couple times. It's been a lot of fun. I get to pick up models this weekend, so woo, models. And then I get to summarily hand them to someone else. So, that's my favorite part of the process is the handing them to someone else and then getting them handed back all set. But I do get the book, and I'm going to read the shit out of that thing. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm going to be in Scotland next week, so might not be on the show next Tuesday. This coming Tuesday, I'll be on the show, rather, like the next one, but the one after I probably won't be.
We're kind of adopting Anthony. He's still working the entire time he's here, so we'll not do anything when he's here, but we're kind of adopting him for a week.
Yeah, I'll be there from Saturday through Saturday, basically.
Nice.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Taking it
Anthony's an odd person.
I have a question for you, Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what a sprue looks like?
Yeah.
Okay, because it sounds very much like you just hand a full box to someone and they hand you back a plate of models.
Curie, I assembled 3 Disco Lords. I'm free from having to do hobby ever again.
Oh, okay, never mind. My condolences.
Yeah.
I like how he thinks that frees him. The fact that you felt like you needed 3 Disco Lords tethers you to this mortal plane.
Nope, I'm out of here. Thanks. Those are the first 3 models I built for 40k.
Interesting choice.
Yeah, it's not about doing the right thing. It's about sending a message.
The one thing I'm actually more surprised by is that you can read.
Yeah, most people would be surprised to find that out.
I thought they'd have knocked that out of you, but you're going to be reading the Warriors Codex.
Nope, I read real good.
It sounds it. All right, let's do the stats and stuff. I feel like we should just go
Give you 5 minutes.
Give you 5 minutes. All right.
Mainly because the damn spreadsheet won't load.
Okay, that's fine. Let's chat a bit more crap. I quit my job today. Let's do that then.
Yeah,
so I left my job because I'm going to be doing the coaching and content creation full time now. or as close to full time as I can be bothered, which will not be full time. It'll be like some number of hours a week that does not equal 40, at least while I get started. So if you're interested in getting coaching from me, check it out. There's a link in everywhere, but it's stat-check.com/coaching. I would love to hear from you because I am now literally dependent on this for food. But that's been a super cool development. It's been really awesome to have a bunch of people reach out to me for that. And I'm looking forward to doing more of it. We'll talk about LVO and my mother event after the stat section because they're more relevant for after that. And I'll talk for more than 5 minutes while Curie loads. But it's been super cool getting stuck into Arcs of Omen. How much have you played of it, Anthony?
A fair amount now. The detachment makes me sad more often than anything because I get to just be like, oh, all the stuff I want. Bam! No consequences. Bam!
God, I want more elite slots and heavy slots at the same time.
Yeah, that sounds like a Space Marine problem. Oh,
Yep.
my units are too cheap.
This is basically exactly how it feels, yes.
Yeah.
I'd really love to be able to run 6 speeders and 6 heavies and 6 elites. Why can't you let me? I have to run combat squads, my good units.
Yeah, I don't feel bad for you. Anyway.
I want my 12 fast attack back, please.
No, you don't get to have that. You lost your slots. You got more points. Enjoy it. Fuck you both. Barely fit my army in 2,000 points on the slots that I have.
That sounds like a chaos problem.
It is a chaos
Why don't you consider playing a better army, and then you won't have slot problems?
I think this one's pretty good. Especially for teams, I think this one's fucking stellar. What? Go on.
I don't know. I just like winding you up. It's fine.
Oh, okay. Actually, nothing to say. Just
no, absolutely not.
Just neener.
Yeah, just hit me with the schoolyard bully.
Yeah, exactly. That's what she said, dude.
All right. Spreadsheet is finally loaded. We can quickly go through stats. So what I've done is I've actually taken all of the Arcs of Omen events that have been played over the last 3 weeks, because people have been playing Arcs since it came out. We just, weren't really talking too much about it because we had LVO, and so we did talk briefly about Uprising, but it's been very interesting to see how everything's kind of come together now. So I'm going to quickly go through win rates, placings. I don't have because my spreadsheet had to been reset. Would be the
Schrodinger's loaded.
No, yeah. Anyways, win rates. So I'm going to give you guys 3 guesses at the top 3. Innes.
Harlequins. Somehow. No? Oh yeah, all Harlequin players are bad now. Custodes. Somehow Grey Knights? I don't know.
No, wrong on all 3 counts. Anthony, you want to take a shot at it?
GSC.
Yep.
Death Guard.
No.
Damn it. AdMech.
Also no. And no,
Space
Marines, surprisingly enough.
Wow.
So I'm gonna do the usual. Marines are all blocked in together because
where they belong.
Where they belong, they're all one homogenous group. Yes, they've got individual identity and character. I love my Dark Angels, but
Sub-factions
are fake. Gene Stealer Cult are the winningest army of Arcs of Omen so far. 87 games played and a 59.2% win rate, which is insane. With basically the list that are going like 3-2 and 4-1 are consistently the custom cult bike spam with Neos, and then you have Twisted Helix and all the other ones that are going 2-3 and 1-4.
Yeah, don't play those.
Yeah, play the build that's super expensive to build up.
Yeah, play the only build we have.
Your life for the cult.
Yeah, it plays exceptionally well. Your brain will fall out the back of your skull after about 3 rounds of it in a single day.
No, David Gaylor's not playing it. It's not that complicated. Sorry, Dave. Love you, really.
All right. Second place, 183 games played. We have Chaos Demons, 57.1% win rate. Apparently, if you make all of their chaff cheaper, they get better.
That doesn't sound right.
And then, incremental increases to their big boys and make flamers have to roll the hit, but you don't care about that as much as people thought you would.
Yeah, they still kill most things they should kill, right?
The funny bit is I did not realize that Fleshhounds had a flamer attached to them. I
Yes,
found
yes,
out those
they
big
do.
dogs have a flamer stapled to them, and I was like, "What?"
Why
They
does the
also are the
sergeant
ones
get a
with the
flamer?
deny built in as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's real rude. Third place, 234 games played. This is actually the second most games played in Omens is Craft Worlds with a 54.1% win rate.
Oh shit, they're back.
They are, I mean, they never really went away,
Who's out
but
there losing to Craft Worlds? Reveal yourselves.
apparently 54% of people out there are.
Stop
That's
that.
Yeah. GSC.
Don't let Craft Worlds players think they're people.
Yeah. That's why you play GSC, right? You remove their ability to think they're human after.
Yes.
Apparently.
Sorry, third most number of games. I forgot the Space Marines just completely dwarfs everyone. Orcs is fourth with 186 games played and a 53.5% win rate. Turns out making Choppas feel like Choppas again is pretty good.
Yeah.
Did not enjoy playing against Orcs when they free start reserve all their little chaff units and just start rolling 9s at you. It's a very stressful experience.
Here we go, baby.
It's like, buddy, I got 3 units and knobs coming off the side. I hope you enjoy the casino game. That's not pleasant. I did not enjoy that.
Could you ask for a more orky experience?
Why must Orcs always casino? Always.
It was like playing against 8th Ed Evil Sons again, where they're just like, all right, man, we're going to jump 30 boys at you. If I hit this charge, I win the game. And I'm like, all right, man, that's an 83% chance to hit the charge. It's going to be real scuffed if you do, though.
Yeah.
Fail it.
In fifth place, and I think the second or third fewest games played, Adeptus Mechanicus.
Well, this is where
Robot
I asked
Boy.
the thumbnail. I could have just checked.
You could have, actually. They have a 53.2% win rate.
Get them, AdMech.
So it seems like they're actually, not doing too terribly. Ones that we're kind of interested in, Death Guard have mellowed out at a 51.7% win rate, which is down from that insane Uprising weekend of 58%.
Yeah, that was very powerful.
Space Marines have played 756 games in Arcs of Omen already and are sitting at a perfectly balanced 51.4%.
Perfectly balanced. Don't look at self-action data. Never look at
don't look too closely at sub-faction data. It gets real weird. Astra Militarum, 186 games played, 48.9% win rate. Guard players, maybe we're wrong and the book isn't as strong, but I'm not convinced.
What's the Born Soldiers win rate?
You always ask the question, so maybe go look.
Well, yeah, that's the idea. That's why you're here, right?
It is why I'm here.
He's the very powerful math man.
That's not right.
Math man, deliver the numbers, please. We could just check the dashboard.
Hey, stop doing that. Don't let people think this is a good faction. Knock that off.
Born Soldiers are hovering at like a 50% win rate, like right in line with the rest of Guard.
All right, fair enough.
Are Guard players
I
okay?
think, and I do want to tangent on this a little bit. My thoughts on it from looking at lists and looking at what rules were allowed. A lot of places, while they were have now started allowing the new book, weren't allowing proxies. So there weren't. So some events did, some events didn't. So there's still that inconsistency of were Kazarkin involved? Did you have a Lord Solar? Did you have Dorns?
I like the idea of Kazarkin being involved. Like, were they a part of this problem, or were they separate?
Yeah, what's the Kazarkin win rate? That's what I would like to know.
That's. Don't worry, I'll start counting the number of Kazarkin units as soon as I start seeing them regularly. And yes, we are still trying to get Anthony part of the cult Mechanicus.
If you can get Liam to go in on the tattoo bet with me, Mr. Greek, then that can be my lost condition tattoo for WTC.
Oh no. And then
Please
rounding out the bottom
bets.
three. Actually, no, just because I want to poke fun at Anthony. Chaos Space Marines, 217 games played, 47.5% win rate.
Balanced. It's fine.
Yeah, they're on the low end of the balance, but they're balanced still.
What was
we
EC?
actually only have EC was 40%, but that was only 10 games.
Yeah. What that faction looks like without me and Vic playing it.
It's pretty rough.
Vic's not been playing it in ages. It's barely becomes a fair weather EC player.
Okay.
All right. And then rounding out the bottom three for Arcs of Omen so far, we have the Adeptus Sororitas, the Sisters of Battle, with 127 games played and a 42.5% win rate. Maybe they did need our Armor of Contempt.
Well, it's their secondaries, right?
Yeah, their secondaries got kind of kicked in the teeth.
I forget that they just explode if you look at them funny now, but it kind of felt like they did that usually anyway. But I wasn't really playing any army, so.
Tyranids, 187 games played, a 41.4% win rate. We have inverted their win rate from Nephilim.
Sad.
Rest in peace.
And then with 165 games played and a 40.9% win rate, we have the Leagues of Votan at the bottom.
Good job, dwarves. Just out there.
Votan and Ned sure can play on the kitty tables now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just wait for the buffs.
As it turns out, bring everybody Meltaguns when your thing is that I have these 2 tanks is real rough.
Yeah.
Also, tagging them with land speeders is very fun.
And just rude.
Got like 45 of these things. Just have one a turn. It's okay.
Yeah. There you go.
40.9% Fluffer Pope was the win rate for Leagues of Votan. So that is the stats for Arcs of Omen so far. This weekend, there's 2 majors and a whole bunch of GT. So we're going to get some real fun data
fairness,
now.
Though, there is a decent percentage of that's like the 37% win rate of Greater Thurian League, 25% win rate of Arani Sarah Regulates.
God
damn
it.
Like, at least Ymir are at 40. They're at least like almost close.
What are Ymir at?
40.
Oh, that's what the rest of them are.
No, they're at 38.
Oh,
according to the dashboard, at least.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, tank the winner there by playing Cronus, guys. Stop doing that.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Shall we move on from the stats, or is there anything more you want to dive into, Curate?
I'm good.
You're good. Cool. Let's. Shall we talk my LVO very briefly?
Yeah, bring it. When did you land?
When did I land? We left Vegas at 10 o'clock on Monday night.
When did you leave Scotland and get into Vegas? I'm trying to set up a timeline here, Chan.
Okay. So that's not what you said. You said, "What did you land?" I'm like, "I got home." All right.
Yeah.
So I left for Vegas on the Tuesday, which was a good choice. It was good to acclimatize. So we left Scotland about 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Got into Vegas for 7 p.m. local time. We land there. It's like, all right, it's 3 a.m. Scotland time. What are we doing? And me and Matt are like, right, let's hit the strip. Like adults do. So we stayed out until about midnight that day. It was good to like just get all of the like possible acclimatizing to the time zone. Just sorted out one day. We went back to the hotel, slept until about 10 a.m. local. Woke up and we were basically good to go. I don't think either of us were particularly jet lagged for the entire event, which was great. I thoroughly enjoyed that bit. All it took was one really, really miserable day that we barely noticed because we were on second wind and oh my god, Vegas. And it's hard to be like, oh my god, we should go to bed when you're walking down the strip getting like, paying $11 for a slice of pizza. Normal things.
God, you had Vegas pizza? What the fuck are you doing?
Well, there was nothing. It was really weird how nothing was open at that time of night. It was bizarre.
It's Tuesday, right? I guess it's Vegas.
Yeah. I will say the one thing I really didn't expect about the strip, it was so much quieter than I thought it was going to be. Like there was no like music like just broadly playing. Like you go past a shop and it'd have music on, but it was really weird. I expected it to be more than it was, I think. So yeah, that was fun. Then we did the strip again the next day. We took a wander down. We did like the other end of things. So we walked down to like Mandalay Bay on the first day, and then we did the other side on the other one, which was cool. Got hustled. Matty took a CD. Don't take the CD.
What are you doing?
I know, right? Don't take the CD, bro. So that was good. We won some money on the tables, which was great. We found a little cheap drink place, which was very, very appreciated. And then we headed over to the venue for the Thursday. Had a interesting experience with helping set up that I would recommend nobody ever do again. In my professional capacity, I would say if you ever help FLG set up, you are a chump now. Don't do it. Just be better.
Yep.
Got to watch Anthony do a shoey on stream because we couldn't be in there to watch him because apparently there was very important things going on behind him.
Yeah, like the Vanguard Tactics Clinic.
Yeah, very important things. Very, very important.
Do you want to go over what happened here? Because
no, not really. Did you guys talk about it?
Not really. I was like, Innes can talk about that when he's here. So
Just pass the buck. All right, so we showed up. We got vague confirmation from a few people that if we helped set up and we stayed down the stream end and were quiet, we could use it. We could use a couple of tables for practice. That ended up not being the case. We were, in my opinion, very rudely asked to leave the venue about 12:30 on the day that we helped set up. We've been there for like 3 hours helping set up. And they were just like, "All right, it's time for you to go." I was like, "Really?" But yeah, no, we were just asked to leave. So we ended up doing basically fuck all that day. Like we kind of just hung about. It was such a weird waste of a day. It definitely felt like if we had just flown out on the Thursday, we'd have been fine because there was, other than doing Vegas, there was basically no reason to be there, which is a really, really weird way to set up your convention. In my opinion, I feel like there was tons of space in the other room that they could have done. Like, you want to show up in the patch tables, pay a nominal fee, you get to come in early, get some games in, chill out, hang with people. Instead, we went for lunch. Ooh, cool. What a fun thing to do in Vegas when you're there with 1,000 people. You're all there for the same thing. Let's make sure that none of them can hang together. So yeah, it was an odd experience, not one I was super proud of. I ranted about it a bit on Twitter, which is, as I am wont to do. Yeah, I didn't super enjoy the vibe of that. I think it was a little bit rude of FLG to be like, "Yo, thanks for helping us set up. We couldn't do this without you. Now get the fuck out of our venue. We need the stream table." It was a bit bizarre. We got back for the GW preview, obviously, which was kind of a waste of time. Super good fun. It was good sitting and chatting shit with people. It was nice to have like a thing to do with all of the guys who were there, but it was not something we super needed. So then we went back to TGI Fridays and drank $4 cocktails until our eyes fell out. And that was good. So yeah, that was the Thursday, and then the Friday was
go time.
The start of the tournament. Yeah, possibly one of the worst day one experiences of any tournament of my life. I think it's worse than LGT, and I lost 2 games day one of LGT, but at least I did it on terrain and to my own mistakes and dice rolls and things like that. Not to showing up and being told, "Hey, this has windows, and this has windows, and this has windows," and none of them don't exist. Which is a thing that we were all told would be on the tables this year. Was that there would be windows, didn't exist. You could actually hide your army. And then I rocked up on the table against some no-name Tau player. Thank you, Fireside, for that lovely, lovely line. Some no-name Tau player and got shot off the board with no recourse in about half an hour. I managed to cling to primary because Death Leaper decided to tank or not Death. My Lictor tanked the Squad of Crisis, and I scored hold 2 in Data Scry Salvage because Brad was only on one objective. So grabbed some primary that way, and then that was about it. Super, super dumb game. Not one I enjoyed. I basically had all the player plus terrain, nothing that resembled anything you could hide a model behind against a Tau army that moved so fast that it did not matter that there was terrain on the board. And then on top of that, he also high rolled me. It was insulting.
That is insulting.
It was like, all right, man. So I got this. They got this Riptide. It's got 8 shots, hitting on 4s, wounding on 3s. You got 5 up save. It's like, cool. That's 7 wounds on your Ravener's body. And I'm like, what are you doing to me, Brad? Please stop it.
Yeah, knock it off.
So that was unpleasant. Yeah, not one of the best games of 40 I've ever played. Probably the worst I've ever played in a tournament. I've done the same thing to other people. Like, just, you kill them turn 1 and they can do nothing about it. But at least it was because they brought bad lists. I don't know, man. It felt super, super stupid. It's enough that I don't think I'll ever do LVO again, because that's just not the kind of... That shouldn't be a thing that you're allowing to happen at your tournament, is that people play on no terrain.
Yeah. I've kind of talked about this before, right? Where you go to a frontline event, or you listen to anyone talk about a player-placed event in general, and like the first thing in every game you talk about is like, well, during the player-placed setup, and then and it's like every time.
Oh, that could have been fixed terrain, and it would have still been garbage.
Sure, I'm just saying, like, yeah, them having bad terrain, regardless, the first thing that you talk about is like, well, the terrain. And it's like, that's so not the point of the game we play, please.
Well, let's go with, I played on 1 ruin on all of day 1. I had one.
You played the Necron board as well, didn't you?
I played the Necron board game 1, and I played Old Champs game 2. So across 3 games of terrain, I set up 1 ruin.
What are you defining as a ruin? Because a bunch of those boards had ruins, but...
No, those were not ruins. To find a ruin is something that has at least one wall that isn't there.
Okay.
Because old champs didn't have any of those,
Old
other
champs
than
had
the
one
one big
sealed.
one.
Old
And
champs
then
had one sealed building.
no, old champs is the one with like the 14-inch by 14-inch big walls, and then like all of the strips of. I'll see if
I think the big cathedral looking ruin thing for old champs is sealed.
there
It's
isn't
supposed
one
to
of
be.
those.
Yeah, that shit's meant to have no windows, dog.
Yeah, no, I know that. So there was one
Oh, I see what you're saying.
ruin because Necron board didn't have any. So
Right.
Yeah, the Necron board doesn't count as having any ruins. I'll give you that.
no, there were not ruins on that. There was nothing you could hide in that was reasonably a ruin. Basically, if you can't stage from inside it, I don't consider it a ruin. If you have to stand behind it, then that you're 8 inches back from it. That's not a ruin. And then obviously the industrial board doesn't have anything that even remotely resembles a ruin.
I mean,
So
this
yeah,
is
it was super dumb.
Fairly salient point when it comes to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if bad turn is fixed turn, you can at least prepare for it. And like,
I mean,
yeah, we knew going in that there were bad boards. I was under the expectation that the top tables would be fixed terrain. Like it was going to be like I've been in previous years. I recall it being the top 50 tables were all one set of terrain. So once you hit a certain level of playing the event, you're fine. I was,
You were safe.
roughly expecting game one, game two to be super scuffed because you're just on random boards, and then there's still 400. But by the time you hit game three and you're undefeated, you should be expecting to play on reasonable terrain for any game of 40k. And the fact that that wasn't the case because the boards were literally just random all the way up to, unless you were on the stream table, which was the only escape you had from bad terrain, was guaranteed. As I recall, Yoko, one of the Iceland guys, was undefeated in one of his games and played on GW board, GW Open,
Sure did. Got sent
despite
to
it
the
not
other
being in the
room.
pack. It was like, yeah, dude, you're in the overflow. And I just don't think that's acceptable at a major tournament in the year. The Sisters train was not in the pack. It was impossible to prepare for. And honestly, like I feel bad for the Tau players that weren't expecting that to be one of the boards and suddenly got dumped with you're going to have to play on this, because people made a metagame call to bring Tau based on the train being bad and got screwed by it. And like I get that, I accepted that, I brought Nids. If I prepared to Tau on one of those boards, I was going to have a rough time. I ended up doing that in the worst mission to pair them as well, with the deep deployment from Data Square Salvage, so I also couldn't get to them, which is just a confluence of factors that meant, and then with Brad being a great player, there was no recourse for me in that game. If I'm playing against a terrible type player, maybe I can play my way out of that. Brad was not going to give me those opportunities.
Right.
It was just, yeah, it was a really sour way to just, randomly lose a tournament I'd spent £2,000 attending for nothing that I could have done differently other than bringing a different army and hoping to win a coin flip. Yep. Day two was great. I played through. I played 6 great opponents. I don't really consider my giving Brad a game. Like, we were in each other's company for 20 minutes. It felt like, but like my other 5 games were all great. I played for 5 great people. I got to play Jamie Beaton from the US Hopefuls in the last round, which is a super cool, super interesting game.
Yep.
I got to play on the Sisters board twice and the Chaos Marines board on day 2, which is great. I played with more ruins in each of those games than I played combined on day 1, which is not a thing that should happen again. You say the Chaos table is heavy. It's not heavy. It's got terrain on it. It's not heavy.
More than the UKTC.
It doesn't feel like it. I don't know.
It sure is. With being able to place it yourself, you can do some nonsense on that terrain.
Fair enough. I was, I have a very high footprint army, so I was usually not getting staging areas because I had to have everything in my deployment zone.
Right.
Whereas with fixed terrain, you're usually like guaranteed staging areas. It felt like there was more opportunity. There was less opportunity cost, more just this is how you deploy stuff.
Yeah.
That's just kind of a foible of player place, right? You just end up with heavy deployment zones and empty midfields.
See, I was doing a lot of the opposite, but I just need enough room to hide the not Terminators in my deployment zone, and then I want a midfield point for my Terminators. So I had a little bit more binary of a setup.
Excuse me 1 second. Whereas I played against like Thousand Sons of that, so like I got to physically hide the tyrants in those matchups. So otherwise, then the closest, like if the closest visible, they just get smited off. So you got to play a lot more. Like I got to hide, 9, 40, 50 mil bases.
Right.
Oh, excuse me. So yeah, it was a super sour note to like just randomly have your tournament end like that. It would have been really cool to get to play, some of the Art War guys or some of the higher end guys like like Athletic Fan or something like that, and it was super cool to see Brian get all the way to get all the way to playing for 6-0 into Jack, unfortunately dropping the ball there, or having the ball ripped from his hands gratuitously by
he got the
fusion
he
pistols.
got the ball dropped on him.
Yeah, same with Nas. It was super cool to see Nas just play to the terrain and come almost all the way until he had to play on real terrain.
Nas does not like real terrain.
Nas is not a big fan. That's why he loves UKTC.
He also doesn't like it when his opponent makes 2 12-inch charges from deep strike.
I hear that's not the most fun thing in the world.
It's
for
just
you.
a 5-up on Omen the Prince, bro. It's easy life.
It's a 1 in 3.
Twice.
Sure.
1 in 9.
Easy.
Yeah, man. I guess get good, right?
Yeah.
Just play better. Hit the minus. Hit
Your
the
roll 5-up, bro.
minus 2 to charge button. It's so balanced.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was LVO. On the Sunday, we mostly just dossed about, hung out at the venue, went for food with Anthony, who didn't show up for it because he was too busy, something in Art of War.
We played a very large Chocodice game.
We did play a very large Chocodice game. That was great. We'll do that again. And then the Monday, we dossed about Vegas again, headed back we just hung out in the Rio mostly because there was nothing else really to do. We all had like a massive pile of bags, so we didn't really want to go anywhere. Went for a nice dinner and then headed to the airport where we were on the same flight as Vic and Dave Gaylord on the way there and the way back. So
Nice.
those poor gits had to deal with us twice. I know, right? Unfortunate for them.
Yeah.
Thankfully, an uneventful flight home for once for me from the States. That has not been the case previously. But yeah, so that was my LVO. It's not something I'll do again, I don't think. Maybe if GW end up taking it over as is the rumor on the grapevine, I'll consider it because it'd be cool to see how GW run it. Vegas is weird. I don't know if it's something I'm super keen to do again. It was super expensive. Food was good, but like you can get good food in a lot of places for a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
I recommend Hash House a Go-Go if you go there, get the chicken and waffles and hate yourself.
That place fucks. I should have just eaten every day at that place. I made mistakes when I ate at other places, except for the ridiculous buffet we went to.
Yeah, the Bacchanal was fantastic.
Yeah.
The Bacchanal was just perfect.
Yeah, it's nonsense personified.
Yeah.
Like if you made excess a thing, like a physical thing, that's that place.
Yeah. There's definitely a few things I would have liked to do. We never did quite make it out to Freeman Street, which would have been cool. There was a few of the museums that I wanted to hit up that we just ended up not doing because it wasn't super like you land and you're tired and you're bored and you don't really want to go and like find places to go. You just kind of want to wander about. And then by the end of the event on like the Monday, we had our bags with us and it was like, I don't really want to go, so we just ended up not quite making some of that stuff. It would have been cool if we had focused on that a little more. That place Douche brought us.
Oh, Momofuku or whatever. That place
we didn't go there.
Yeah, that place was nuts. And not that expensive by Vegas standards.
By Vegas standards.
Literally free for me. Thanks, David.
So yeah, that was my Vegas experience. 3 out of 10 would not recommend. 3 is probably generous. One ruin out of 3. I don't know. Yeah, but what I did do this weekend was I played an ARCS tournament, which was great. That was really good fun. I played Iron Hands and shot 5 people completely off the board. It was phenomenal.
Talk teams to me, big boy.
Talk teams. Yeah, so we had the Northern Warlords Team Tournament, which is a tournament run by the Northern Warlords guys, who is headed up by Matt Robertson of Art of War and Team England. He's literally never not won this tournament. It runs twice a year. I'm pretty sure he's been winning it for like half a decade now. Yeah, so we came down and we stole the trophy. It was great.
Oh, snap!
It was great. First time ever. We played the summer one 6 months ago. It was me, Chris, Matty from my team, and Martijn from one of the Dutch guys. We came down, we came 5th. But I got top score with Tyranids that event, and I did it again with Iron Hands this time. And I scored 1 more point than I did that time, which means the Iron Hands are better than Peak Tyranids. That is what I'm taking from this.
It could be true.
You can't prove that that's not the case. Yeah, so we did this really cool thing where we first defended with Iron Hands 4 times, and they went, "Here's 2 armies that you kill," and I went, "That board."
Yep.
And that was great. It was really cool when you look at your opponent's face and they realize that there's 4 objectives in the open, and your contemptor can see 3 of them.
Oh no!
It's like this per Custodes player in the last round trying to hide like the wing of his Venatari around a building, and I'm like, so if I move an inch, staying on this objective, I can see all 4 of them. It was great. I had a good time. I played against Necron Horde in the 3rd round, and the guy conceded on turn 1 because I had scored a 14 on no prisoners already.
How did
I was
you?
going to say, that's 120 wounds that you killed.
I
turn
killed
1.
120 Necron Warriors turn 1. 40 of them came back, but 120 of them, about 80 of them stayed dead. And there was 140 on the board and 40 in reserve. So he walked into his turn with 60 on the board, knowing that I had just killed twice that, and shook my hand. Because he was going to have to advance a turn to the middle as Nephrek to stand in the middle and die again before he got to resolve a shot at me.
Oh, that's just pain.
Christ.
So I won that game 85-10 because I couldn't score shock tactics because he didn't take an objective.
Because he was just like, bye.
He just phased out. It was like, yeah, no.
He hit the 25% threshold.
Yeah. I had a super cool game against Orcs. That was the most interesting one we played. That went all 5 turns. I did end up tabling it, but it was like on bottom of 5. Like I killed the last one of Storm Boys that had hidden to do good bits and then jumped into my opponent's over binary lines. Hecaton went and crushed its skull with extreme vengeance. By the way, Hecaton Icos, fucking awful. Cut him immediately if you're copying my list.
I was going to ask about
anything
him.
else in.
160 points of anything else?
Yeah, he's just going to become another land speeder.
Okay.
It's a lot better. He sure did charge a couple times and failed to kill most stuff he charged. Other highlights include pumping 2 CP into a squad of Vanguard veterans, and ripping a squad of Custodes bikes from the inside out. I do love doing that.
What 2 CP was that?
Plus one to hit, exploding 6s to wound.
My bad. I forgot about the plus 1 to hit.
You go in with your lightning claws, and you're like 17 attacks, 23 wounds. And the Custodes squad falls apart. It's great. I love it. The Contemptor continues to be the most unfair unit in the game.
It sure felt like that when I played Iron Hands yesterday. Boy, that thing's fucked.
That thing should not exist.
No, no one successfully resolved an attack against it. 2 Custodes players considered taking Mortalis against it. It's like, well, I have to deal with it, and then did not deal with it.
No.
My new favorite thing is to fire and fade eliminators out, like pop out, shoot something with 2 fusils, come back and screen the dreadnought behind the wall, and just be like,
the fact that you have heavy slots for eliminators hurts me, but that's fine.
It's fine.
Eradicators from Strat Reserve are not okay.
Yeah, nuts.
The Gladiator Reaper has too many damn shots.
Yep.
It's what, 44 shots?
If you're in half, I think, yeah.
Yeah, it's like 44 plus D3 or something stupid like that. Killing 17 Custodians Wardens turn 1 was fun. Yeah.
Oh.
So I only had line of sight so there was a squad of 10 that had all the buffs on it, and I could only see that squad. Half my army could only see that squad, so I just killed that squad. And then the chaff shooting killed like 3 from each of the other squads.
I guess your whole army basically is AP2, which is like the Custodian's nightmare.
Yeah. And like, well, I killed 8 of them, and then the last 2 ran to morale. Is actually what happened.
I guess it's not like they come back. So once the squad's down to like 1 dude, it might as well not be there.
Yeah.
Like
Trajan in that game, Trajan charged 2 squads of Devastators, killed 3 of them. The sergeants made him use Moment Shackle to not die.
Oh yeah, because they have the hammer.
They have other hammers now.
Very dumb.
Just randomly dumped 9 damage on him. He's like, "Oh, I'm down to 1. I'm gonna have to Moment Shackle the 3rd one." I'm like, "Yeah, you are, buddy. You're gonna double fighting these guys." And then my Eradicators charged and killed him. Yeah, Warhammer's cool. People should definitely be allowed to play Iron Hands. This is a fair and balanced rule set that I in no way am regretting that exists.
That's an experience.
Gesundheit, Anna.
They really just need to make the Contemptor 10 wounds. They just need to make that, whatever the freaking March of the Ancient strat, just make it give you +1 a wound, attack, and leadership.
Oh, wound.
Yeah, that would fix it.
Yeah, because then you go to 10 wounds and you can tempt her.
I was like, dude, what the fuck? And then I was like, never mind.
Yeah, so they should do that, and that would make things a lot better, a lot less
Yeah.
stressful.
You just have what, an ironclad running up the field?
Do you
Powerful.
just hit them with the claws?
Brian found Iron Hands quite clappable with Harlequins, but also, like, yeah, man, Harlequins are bad. Like, Harlequins do bad things to Space Marines. Like, this is not
They do
news.
terrible things to Space Marines, and when you turn off half of their thing that they really love,
no,
stop that reroll.
Stop it. Bad Iron Hands. So, like,
Get
yeah,
me on
it's fine.
board.
I get it. I get that Iron Hands aren't unbeatable and they have counters. That doesn't mean what I was doing to people was okay.
That's every time a shooting army is like not even too strong, just strong. It's like,
Yeah.
oh boy, this is gonna be fucked up. I'm sorry.
It sure did feel easy. That's
I think
how I
they're-
want to phrase it. I don't enjoy how easy shooting armies feel compared to combat armies.
I think they're pretty favored in the guard, honestly. They have so much shit.
Yeah, dude, you just start getting lance feeders in their grill. Like, I had 3 of the things. I'm going up to 5. You just do, and then you're there. And then what are the guard doing? Like, what's the best non-Iron Hands Marines listed to Iron Hands?
Dark Angels,
probably
probably.
Dark Angels, but it's not super fun.
I've played it now a couple of times. It's coin flippy, but the big thing is that you can still score points going second with Dark Angels into Iron Hands. It's just real painful.
It's also kind of board dependent, right? Like, if the Iron Hands get in a
heavily.
shooting gallery, you're just going away.
Yeah, like
So-
if in Innis's situation where he's going down as first defender in a team's environment, I would not attack with Dark Angels.
Yeah, it's really hard to pick something to be like, okay, so what's going to play the? It's like, all right, man, I really hope you can character hold all the objectives on your side of the board.
Because you aren't activation locking Iron Hands.
No, Iron Hands have so many guns. It's insane how times you're just like. So the Reaper's going to split fire and kill 2 transports. We'll figure out the rest later. Yeah, it's a messed up book. And then you even just get stuff like the Devastators are 4 activations out of 2 units because you can just cherub into whatever fell out. You just be like, all right, man. So you fell out of that Rhino. Now let's put the grab cannon into those guys.
Yeah.
So you got to be real careful with stuff like that. Yeah, it was messed up. What's Iron Hand saying? I wonder what right now. Actually, that's something I can look at.
Iron Hands
Hey,
are like
58%.
Yeah, the only ones higher than them are Dark Angels.
But Master Artisan's Whirlwind of Rage as a successor is 71% right now with 31 games played.
Oh no. Yeah, people are starting to figure it out. I made this comment back after the Uprising weekend where Iron Hands were at like a 50% win rate. I was like, no one's actually playing the good Iron Hands. They're playing
Let me just
original.
Let me just do this.
And this is loading.
Yeah, I'm sharing it. I'm going to share it. Right. So this is where this is Iron Hands Whirlwind of Rage Master Artisans. It's right here. And then that's where Master Artisans and Board Heroes is, the second best version. And then Stealthy Whirlwind of Rage, which I don't know why you play, is in the same place. Long Range Marksman Master Artisans is up here at 5-0. And then regular Iron Hands is down here in Garbage Town.
Garbage Town, also known as a
being
52%.
Yeah, exactly. Garbage Town. Look at this.
Yeah.
Just play this one, guys. Stop it. You don't need to feel no pain.
You sure don't. No, those extra rules are hot. Honestly, though, I don't know that represents an actual disparity between those 2 chapter tactics as much as it represents, like, the people in the know play this thing.
Like, I get it, but also cut it out.
Yeah. No,
It is quite fun playing real Iron Hands because you get the Overwatch on 4 strat for 2 CP for 1 CP and then 1 CP for the Overwatch.
Fuck you.
But you always have the 5-up feel no pain strat.
Exactly.
Why?
You've always got the
Side note.
Look, man, do you not enjoy trying to kill Vanguard that randomly have a 5-up feel no pain when something catches line of sight on them?
It's so annoying. So annoying for armies that aren't mine.
I watched a unit of 6 Hearthguard go into a unit of 5 Vanguard vets and kill 3 of them through the lone pain. It was just that moment like, huh. Yeah, it
Those guys sure are going to fall back this turn.
Yeah. They dictated his plays.
And
You know,
all
it was
6 of
all-
them died horribly.
31 games is not as reliable as 100+ games. However, it is not negligible. You should consider that the people who are good at Iron Hands are telling you that that's the way to play it. You should do it that way.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Turn-
playing. It's what Nas will be playing. Just do it, bro.
That's what
Just
Mikey plays.
yeah, I mean, that's not really a representative sample, but you know. Love you, Mikey.
Everybody loves Mikey.
Everyone loves Mikey. Shout out to Mikey for donating the money from his STL file for the Rogaldorn to trans rights charity. I don't remember which one it is, but it's
Oh
on
yeah.
Twitter. Yeah, he made like $100 quid from selling the NSTL, filling the Rogaldorn, and donated it. So
Nice.
shout out to him for doing that.
So mermaids?
No, it's a UK one, I think. I don't remember off the top of my head.
That's the only UK one I know of.
So me and Brian have a bet, which is a different bet to have. We're going to take an identical list to Matty's tournament, the Kelpie Crusade, and whichever one of us does better gets to decide what the other person's taking to the RPT.
Nice. Hell yeah.
So that'll be good fun. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to Brian being like, what do Marines data sheets do? Because it's the only army we both have. Nas, you're not playing real Iron Hands. Shut up. Unless you're playing in Astraeus. If you're playing in Astraeus, play real Iron Hands because I love you and respect you. And Iron Hands Astraeus is the funniest thing. You cannot charge it. You just can't.
Well, you can charge it with like a boat and then something else.
Yeah, but you can't charge it with a thing. I don't know. If you charge it with more than one thing, it's like cool, man. So it's an Astraeus, it's -1 damage. You're not killing it.
When's your event that is that decides when Brian gets to decide what army you play?
3 weeks. It's like the middle of the start of March, second week of March.
I was gonna say if it was while I was there, I could go, but
it's definitely not. Plus, also, aren't you landing on a Saturday and leaving on a Saturday?
Yeah, but the Saturday I land is like Saturday morning. We're leaving Friday night our time.
Right, that's fair. No, we'll do something when you're here. Like I'm gonna come through for the Saturday, Sunday, so we'll figure something out.
The first set, right? Like 18-19.
Yes,
got it.
The one that I know you're here for.
Yeah. I just meant
360 grots. Brian, if you put 360 grots in my hand, I will war crime somebody with 360 grots. That is fine. I don't mind. You've seen me play. I play Horde armies fast.
Mm-hmm.
I played the best game 4K I ever played was against my teammate at the time, Aiden. I was playing 200 cultists and Abaddon. He was playing 200 orcs, and we killed all of them. We were done in half an hour, having killed 400 models.
No.
We literally finished before some people had finished deploying, and we had just been like, here is our armies. And he went, here is teleport. I went, here is Overwatch with Abaddon rerolls. It's like squad falls to bits. My squad dies. His squad dies. It was great. It was over so quickly.
Silly.
Warhammer. It's a cool game for cool people. Right. Shall we move on to another topic of some kind?
Let's. I know neither of you. Well, I know Anthony may not want to. I do want to actually briefly discuss Guard where it's at right now and what's going on.
It was on Tourneykeeper. If you look for Northern Warlords team tournament, you should be able to find it there.
I'll drop a link in chat.
This is how you find Innes's list.
Yeah, I pulled up the question. Oh, podcast people.
Yeah. Podcast people, bro.
Podcast people aren't like, I'm not going to see something rude about podcast people. We love you. Keep downloading our show. We love you. I'm going to do the plugs. Actually, that's what I should do. I'm at a practice. And then we'll talk about Guard because Jeremy wants to. Hey, everybody. Thank you for being with us for another episode of Stat Check. This is episode 30, which means we are officially past our prime. I think is technically
over the hill.
Over the hill. Past our prime. Whatever.
I got one more year. Don't be
one more year. Yeah, we're making Crispy almost 30 on his shirt this year because Matty was last year. So we're just going to pass that one around from the team now. So thank you for being with us. If you're enjoying the show, which we assume you are, because there's 70 of you listening to us live now and thousands of you listening on YouTube and podcasts, which we're a massive fan of. We love that for us. So you can check us out for every episode at youtube.com/c/statcheck. Or you can check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/statcheck, where you can check us a few dollars a month, get access to our Discord, a bunch of bonus content, stuff like End of the Matrix with Typhus, which is just the best piece of content that anybody's making in 40K right now.
That's true.
We highly recommend you go and listen to that if you are at all interested in being good at Warhammer or teams, but especially teams. There's a massive focus on that, but it is, it's just good Warhammer content. You should definitely go listen to it. Other than that, if you could chuck us a like, a comment, a subscription, whatever helps out on the YouTube channel, it helps us with getting noticed. It helps us with Daddy GW paying attention to us. All that kind of thing would be super cool. So if you could do that for us, we would really appreciate it. Thank you to Nathan for doing this in a much better, less scuffed way than I am, but I'm going to continue doing it in my scuffed way because I have no other way to do it.
Scuffed plugs are where it's at.
Exactly. If it wasn't scuffed, you would know it was authentic. Also, shout out to Goonhammer for helping us out. We are really enjoying being partnered with them. The access to all of their data and stuff like that has been super helpful. And you can also see a bunch of articles from Jeremy and all the other statics guys over on goonhammer.com, which has been really cool. And hopefully I'll be having a couple of articles going up there in the near future as well.
Emperor's Children start competing coming soon.
I should have start competing, getting written this week as well. So yeah, there you go. So if you're interested in those, check us out at goonhammer.com as well. And finally, I'll plug my coaching again because I need to now. If you want to get some personal coaching, check out stat-check.com/coaching. You can get in touch with me or drop us an email at coaching@statcheck.com. That is for both myself and Typhus, and maybe some other people in the future. We'll figure that out later. But yeah, thank you all for being with us. It's super, super overwhelming to have been doing this for over a year now because we started with Fight Club just after LVO, which means that we've been doing it for just over a year now. We'll be coming up for a year of this show in a couple of months, which is also a little overwhelming. Yeah, let's get to 1K subs. That's a good show, Yellow. So let's try and get to 1K subs for 30 episodes. That'd be really cool. Because I get a steady trickle of emails in on my phone. I'm like, I should maybe pay attention to this. But no. Right, let's move on and talk about guard. Because our guard players, okay. Like, do you guys need help? Do you guys need someone to write you a list? Like, really?
He does that now.
Do that now, yeah.
You don't just call him and complain that your dice were bad for an hour.
You can call me for literally anything. I accept currency for complaints.
It is a topic of choice. We've never changed that.
We're not going to change that
because it's perfect.
Yeah,
exactly. So yeah, guard players. What's up, guys? Come on. This is a safe space. Why are you not winning more?
Talk to me, Kerry. What do you think it is?
I mentioned it earlier. I think part of it is Kasserkin, Solar weren't out, and we definitely feel, at least this podcast feels, that those are two of the strongest elements of the book. Lehman Russes have always been around, so there's no issues with getting those. Mortars are still around. There's no issue with getting those.
They just have to rebase them, right?
Yeah, that's easy enough to do. And really, you didn't have to rebase them till this weekend because we didn't officially see them on 50 mils until that box came out.
Right.
We had the premonition, and of course, all of us that play guard had already rebased them on 50s. I'm totally not hobbying up 14 mortars right now.
Yeah.
The real issue is Anthony refuses to coach guard players on principle. Is that true? Are you holding down the guard agenda?
I don't know that I can have more coaching people right now and still work a full-time job. Like, I actually need to, like, it's not yet a problem, but it's slowly getting to the point where I'm like, all right, I have an opening next week on Tuesday at 1 a.m, if that's cool. And I'm like,
that was how it was starting to feel for me with before I took the plunge. But it adds up fast, doesn't it?
Yeah, they definitely catch up on you. I love coaching. Like, it's, obviously, like, it's a great way to interact with the hobby while also, like, using my time in a way that also, gets to pay some bills, which is, thumbs up. But it is definitely, it's a lot of time. I don't refuse to coach guard players in principle, though I do sometimes tell prospective clients, like, hey, I don't know how to play that army, or, like, there's definitely, like, another person that you can go to that'll be better for this thing. But I also have the benefit, this is one of the benefits of not doing it full time, is that, like, I can do that and be like, hey, talk to this person, because it's not how I put food on the table. But, like, whereas, like, a different coach might be able to be like, I'll do a bunch of research and get an answer back to you that is reasonable. I'm just like, I don't play that army. It's not really worth your time. Talk to this person instead. So, balance, right?
So who is the Art of War guard coach?
Probably John, I think, would be the best person to go to if you're going to do it Art of War right now. He's pretty elbow deep in the codex, is my understanding, but I don't know. Yeah. He's John's a wizard when you give him tools. Like, basically there's a lot of players that this is true of, but John very specifically is like, if you let him play Warhammer at you, it's bad. You have to make John dead and not give him options.
Hey, shout out to Lucas for
Yeah.
For just making him dead.
Yeah, Lucas had the only way to do that.
just kill it.
Yeah, you gotta
just gotta live the day 9 monologue, and that's what I think guard players aren't doing. I think guard players are trying to be too smart and too cute right now. Just kill them, bro. Just put the guns on the table, kill their stuff, score points later.
Yeah.
Whereas like, oh, we don't have 60 Canadians, but why? Why do I do that? Run one squad. One squad will be
And
fine.
I think it's maybe also a little bit of the same thing that happened with every other codex when it came out, is that in some way how you played the codex changed, and what you used to like bringing isn't necessarily competitive anymore.
Right.
So it was just like, yes, take your Hive Guard and put them away.
Right.
I've not looked at that data sheet. I don't remember what it does. I read it
24
when it
inches.
came out,
That's all you need to know.
It.
And then from the perspective of like, you have a lot of people who really like Scions, and just don't. Please stop.
You can run a patrol of them. It's okay.
Yeah, you can run a support patrol and go and get your Nephilim or your battlefield data or whatever it is with them and score an extra point on boots and lose your inflexible command points.
Yeah. Well, not if they die super quickly. Then it's fine.
I mean, you lose them that turn, which could be pretty.
Hit the 9-inch charge, and then they'll die. I don't know.
No.
But yeah, I think that there is an element of the guard players still haven't properly adjusted because there hasn't been a huge amount of success for one particular.
We've
guard
seen
list.
people like Dan Salmons just crushing events with like Lehman Ross's Zach Como in Canada's been doing the same thing. Like there are definitely people seeing success with this book. It is not a bad. I think there's just a lot of really bad guard players.
That's not how Reed pronounces that man's last name, for what it's worth.
Okay, I apologize.
So bad.
How is it pronounced? Please.
No, you got it right.
No, it is. You got it right. It is Como. And shout out to Zach. He is a fantastic guard player.
Oh, okay. I was worried I'd gotten that wrong.
No, you're
Best
good.
in faction Astra Militarum. Having beat Brett the Catachan Urbanowski by 1 point in Game 6 of LVO.
They played, didn't they? Yeah, that was the best.
They played 4 best guard in round 6. Might be the most dramatic thing at the LVO.
But yeah. Anyways, Comio or Comie was how Reese pronounced him when announcing his name. Yeah, it was something.
Don't do that.
I think it was actually like Comieo or something. It was like really bad.
Reese did not pronounce a lot of names very well. I wasn't paying attention to how he pronounced mine, so I don't have to know.
It's hard to get yours wrong.
You'd think.
There's a lot of English in the world.
I get a lot of Dennis.
But yes,
no,
I believe that's Nathan in chat. Just deliver massed plasma at distance. It turns out that if you just run like 6 plasma executioners, a couple Kazarkin models, Lord Solar, and some sentinels to put on some pressure, and maybe some mortars in your backfield, and yes, that all does fit in 2,000 points. You're going to do pretty well.
Though.
That fits at like 1,500. You have
I know.
much more shit.
Hugging the sentinels is my favorite thing though, because I just love hugging them. Love hugging sentinels. It's so much.
I mean, there are 2 blood tithe points. I love those fucking things. From you.
Yeah, those are being deployed back.
No. Right in the front. You got to screen me. Come on. Get up there.
Stick them in reserve so they die on turn 5 and don't give you blood tithe.
Go ahead.
I go second. I free deploy them into reserves. Good luck.
If you want to play down points, fucking.
I used to do that against when we played 7 Tyrants back in good old 8th edition. The Epidemius matchup was one of the more painful ones. Epidemius and Plague Burst Crawlers.
Yep.
Oh,
so what you would do is you would leave your 8 Mucilid Spores in reserve, so they die on turn 3 and couldn't die to give up tally points.
That's beautiful.
Suck.
Still does, bro.
We're getting mostly fine now. Honestly, one of the only reasons that I'm like, yeah, whatever, they'll do something okay for 10th is that I'm like just not at all worried about it, is that every time it's gotten better. They literally cannot go back. So like, meh, even if they just like make it Sigmar, still better than 7th. Like,
you ready for double turns, bro?
Better than 7th.
Dude, you have such a skewed understanding of 7th. I love it. All right. Yeah, I don't really get what guard players do. That codex just seems so wild. Also, my tournament in other worlds was no guard Arcs of Omen, which is like the best meta that we will ever have in the game.
Was it just not allowed, or
just not allowed? They were not out before list submission.
For what?
My
they weren't
team
out for
event
list
last
submission
weekend.
because the box came out.
I mean, do they have an
LVO
FAQ yet?
weekend.
No guard
WTC
Arcs of Omen. Yeah, no FAQ.
Do they?
yet.
They don't have an FAQ yet, right?
Nope.
So you shouldn't be allowed to play them at WTC events.
Exactly. Screw guard players. All of you are my mortal enemy now.
All 100 of you now. Back when there was 2 of you, it was fine.
Yeah, someone was asking earlier how the Iron Hands matchup is. I've watched quite a few of those, and we've seen quite a few of those paired off.
Feels bad for guard.
It does. I've played it as well, and it's one of these things where you go first, you crush the Iron Hands player. You go second, they crush you.
It doesn't even
And
feel
I
like
feel
you
like-
crush the Iron Hands player if you go first. If they're
Yeah, I was
if
gonna
they're
say,
playing
like,
and deploying properly.
I feel like it's like they get screens up, right? The guard player, but then the screens get reaped, and then that gives them 8 points for Codex Warfare. And
Yeah,
then
that's true.
what do you do the second and third time? And when you can't stop them, the Eradicators coming off the board edge, and your tanks get fucking Thanos snapped.
AP5 is a hell of a drug. I hate that they're AP5.
Guard players are begging to get their Armor of Contempt back on their Lehman Russes.
I would like it just at all, considering I got point nerfed. Can I just keep my fucking abilities back?
I would-
47.5% win
As
rate.
Iron
You're
Hands, I
fine.
would also love it back as long as my opponents aren't getting it. But net neutral, you can keep not having it.
Yeah, I'm good.
I like my AP2 being murder fest now. The age of Nurgle is over. The age of Corn Tom has begun. I'm with you, Tom. I'm with you, Tom. Oh, we've lost Anthony's pictures. I like how Anthony's not using Nurture Davis as a headline either. He's just sticking it as a name.
All right, I'm back.
He's back.
All right. Shall we proceed?
Yeah,
into
let's
show
jump into questions. How many? We should start having a tally of how many random miscellaneous messages do we have to scroll past in order to get through it, despite the fact that people now for us. So for anybody who's not in the know, in our Discord, we have a show questions section. People are really bad about reading the name of the section they're in and just start answering the question themselves, up to and including our hosts.
We are all equally guilty.
You
of
all
that.
depress me.
We're all really
time
bad.
you do that.
So we have a second separate channel called Show Questions Discussion. And all that happens now is someone just start asking a question, and then like 4 people will just be like, go to the discussion. But what that is unfortunately doing is also spamming that channel. So there are solutions to this. I refuse to implement any of them because this is better branding. So we are now going to dive into some show questions. There's a bunch of stuff. So let's go as quickly as we can through this without skimming stuff.
McWerp is the first question.
Is it? I think the first question was Benny, wasn't it? Oh no, McWerp answered ages ago.
I can hear Anna moving around on crutches trying to do something. I'm gonna go see what she's doing and see if I can help. I'll be right back.
Go help her.
That's fair. Which factions performed so differently than you expected in Arcs of Omen? Which of those factions do you think is due to old data, and which do you think you just actually had the wrong take on? So guard, we've covered already. I think guard players just need to figure out a build, stick to it, and get good at it, and stop the cute shit. Nothing else. I'm really like, oh, we were super wrong. I think Grey Knights are probably slightly overperforming where I thought they were. Admech are slightly overperforming, but like all those middle factions, I'm like, yeah, one of them ended up being slightly better than we thought it was. I don't think that's super surprising, and a couple of them ended up being a little worse than we thought they were. I think the broad stroke predictions of Quinn's GSC,
Iron Hands, Dark Angels,
Iron Hands, Dark
are all
Angels,
up there.
Demons are all pretty strong. Orcs have been really strong. Guard is the only one that I'm like, wow, this is really underperforming. I think we kind of called the general like top 5, top 6 pretty well, with the exception of Guard.
Votan has surprised me a little bit, but not by a significant.
What, with just how bad they're actually performing, or?
Yeah, like I was expecting like 45%, not 38%.
Yeah, I wonder if that's just a bunch of people just decided that the faction is not super interesting to play. From my experience, it's very one-dimensional. I think a lot of people might have just decided that, well, Votan, they got into them because they were strong, or they decided not to get into them because they were overpowered, and then the time has passed now, and they're just kind of leaving it. It's a new army as well. Like the adoption rate was always going to be a bit lower.
We're talking about
But it was
Votan.
the 6th most played army at LVO.
They did a broadly shit job with that codex. They gave them every rule and then didn't price them like it. And now that they're priced like it, it just doesn't make sense to run them because they took the rest of the meta and made it just a swarm of random fucking rats with meltaguns. So now Votan's like, please stop.
Stop killing me. But you got to remember, just one Terminator so you can dictate the tempo of the game, and then you'll be fine.
Something like that. Or maybe you just get shot at 12 instead of 9 and you fucking die, but who am I to tell you how to live your life?
Yeah. The list that I'm seeing now that are the vegans are like triple Thunderkin plus Terminator brick. Which
Dude, I'm a huge fan
bad.
of this 4 Sagittar, 9 Thunderkin, like 10 bike list I've written.
That does sound very cool.
I do really like the Thunderkin.
There's definitely some things in there. However, the Warcry idea of building more than 6 bikes just does not appeal to me. No. Jesus, Luke. I'm not reading this out loud. That's a treat for the viewers.
Terrible.
Yeah, you want to see funny comments like this? Check us out live on Tuesdays.
All right, Anthony, this is a question for you. Summarize the new World Eater Codex in 3 words or less.
Kill, maim, burn. What
I think you're way further back than I am.
Yeah.
That's the question that was immediately after Brendan's question.
Yeah, but there were questions before me asking for questions.
Were there?
Kill, maim, burn. Those are your 3.
There's like 4 more.
Oh.
Okay, Dark Horse factions going into arcs.
I don't really have like a dark horse. Like the factions that are good just seem quite good. I do think if Votan players hit the switch to the SAG plus Thunderkin plus so on and so forth build, they'll be pretty impressed. I was. Especially now with like the leaving of AOC, that build is a lot better. I think Beam Forts was just like objectively better before, but now that other build is really, really good.
So. We answered all those questions last week because we were a day late on our episode.
Oh, that makes sense.
I was just like, this sounds very familiar to what we were talking about a week ago.
We did that.
So the first actual question is from Benny. What fantasy army would reach to the cast play if you had to choose one complete collection?
Ooh.
What else?
Tomb Kings.
I am putting the Banner of the World Dragon in a block of White Lions and the Razor Standard in a block of Phoenix Guard and running at you.
Vampire counts. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Parageists. Go away. Be gone, thought.
Dragons. All I want from Old World is the Prince on Star Dragon to be cracked as all hell again. I want that guy to be like 7th edition fantasy power level.
Vampire Lord, Black Knight Bus, 3 Terrorgeists. List. That's all I want.
Just imagine what those models will look like.
If I was less picky, it would be Dark Elves, but Innes said Banner of the World Dragon and triggered my PTSD, so it has to be Terrorgeists now.
Those will just be magical attacks now, don't worry about it.
I mean, it was never an attack, it was just remove your dudes.
Yeah, no, it'll be magical attacks, it's fine. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Whatever you say.
Can we get our WC progress update from everybody? Hope it's going well.
You guys want to go first?
Sure. We are in the process of preparing for Home Nations now. We have a date and a team for that. Home Nations is our prep event where we play with the other 5 teams from the British Isles plus Belgium. And then also we're inviting, I think, Germany and the Netherlands this year to come out and compete. So we'll be doing that at the start of April. So I'll be building up for that. That's in Wales this year. And then after that, it'll be hold on tight and wait for 10th edition. But we're focusing on developing as players right now. It's been super cool. We took down a team of 4 of our guys to Northern Wars this weekend where we won, which was super cool. It was good to have. I managed to get off of GSC, which is really nice. I just handed them to one of my teammates. It was like, you go learn to be good at the Warhammers playing this, and now I get to play Warcrime armies.
Did he go be good at the Warhammers? Did he do?
Yeah, he lost 13-7 to Robo's Votan, but Robo got board draws on that, and just some things didn't go his way. Didn't expect the aggression out of the Votan because he played against a bunch of very passive Votan players, and Robo was like, "Nah, slams the button, charges Calamore for the bikes turn 1, that kind of thing." Yeah, I know, right? And then he drew 10-10 with Necrons in one of his other 3 games. So so shout out to Tom, you've been doing a great job. Chris took Votan, which we're taking off him now, but he also went 3-1-1, and then Brian went 4-1 with Harlequins, which was super cool. And then I work around 5 people with Iron Hands because the game.
Did Brian have his Harlequins?
No, Brian borrowed Harlequins.
Oh, okay. Because Brian's Harlequins are going to look fucking sick. I don't know if you.
Yeah, but he's also not getting them till after Alpine, so.
That's going to be a while.
Brian being one of my teammates who's coming to Alpine Cup with myself, Anthony, as well as Typhus and Pumbaa, the Polish refs.
Team's going to be real strong.
It's gonna be great. How about you two? How's the WWC prep going?
Actually, on yours, because someone just asked, do you guys have your team fully selected?
Yeah, we picked our team in October.
Okay.
That was a while ago.
I didn't remember.
Yeah.
So
we picked our
we're
team super early.
yeah, we've narrowed down to, we have our coaches selected, and we've narrowed down to a team of 14 from which we will pick our 8 travelers. But everyone is committed, everyone has signed in, everyone has basically said they will be available that week. So if we have any last minute drops from the 8, we have backups, because we've had that happen. And when it comes to traveling from Canada, shit happens.
Yeah.
I, as much as fun as it would be to step up and sub in, I'd really rather not play a random army that I have 10 reps with, as opposed to 50 reps with.
You'll play the War Masters, that'll be fine.
That's exactly what I'll do.
There's a lot of American representation in the War Masters this year, just not from the starters.
That should be a lot of fun.
You guys should bring a bunch of guys over.
Yeah.
And the star is still being threatened with people under their beds.
Yeah, but Sean's official policy is that you can do whatever you want, and he would never stop you from playing.
Just play a different army like the Aussies do.
You might get private piled by the rest of the team, but Sean won't say no.
How are you guys getting on, Anthony?
We're doing great. We just started, so I generated teams for our internal scrim last week, 2 weeks ago. I don't know, some amount of time. Time's fake. I 2 jobs, no understand when things happen anymore. And I think we do list swaps on Wednesday, so tomorrow. So that'll be pretty hype. It'll be the team. So the way America's set up right now, we have 4 starters chosen. I split them into teams, and then each team got 6 of our hopefuls or prospect squad. So it should be fun. We're gonna fuck around and find out is basically the idea, and we'll see how it goes. A good handful of these guys are fairly inexperienced on TTS or WTC terrain, so some of these games might run a little long, but it'll be a good opportunity for me to help NC things. Going from my position on TTS literally a year ago to where I'm at now is very funny. So yeah, that side of things is good. I'm real excited for things in general for Team USA. I think we're going to be super strong and well practiced.
Have you announced who the 4 players that are picked are yet?
I don't think there's been any form of public announcement, so I won't steal our team Facebook page line. But if you want to know who it is, follow the Team USA Facebook page on Facebook.
Or what I'll do is I'll DM you later.
Yeah, that's fine. That also works. But yeah, I just don't want to steal the public show.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
So,
we have some pretty sexy objective markers there too.
We do have some dope objective markers if you want to check out
stat check ones, which you can find on our shop, which you can find linked on our website.
That's true. Yeah, the stat check ones are actually real nice. I actually used objective markers all weekend, which I'm almost always terrible about. I usually just my opponent has them. I have the little discs. I'm we're using these. Here we go. But now I have stat check ones, so that won't happen as much. Yeah, things are good. Things are going well. I'm very excited for teams. They also just gave me an army that I, of all people, can defend with, which is what?
World eaters.
That's right. Point scorers.
How was Northern Warlords? Any hot takes? I am going to leave that one. We've spoken about it already. My hot take is Iron Hands are fucked. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. Are Harlequins really as dead as the internet and Northern Warlords lists tell us? No, they're not. And I feel like we covered that as well. Jeremy and me snap pick the US team.
Go for it. One of you first, and then the other one.
Anthony, Sean, John, Harpstar. Nick should make it, but won't. Because that boy's real good.
You've got 4.
That's 5. But I'm putting Nick on the team. I want Nick there.
Okay.
Was Nick on the team?
I'm asking you.
Yeah, Nick's on the team. I like Nick. I think he can do it. He's actually playing Warhammer as well, which is good.
He fucking showed out at LVO.
Exactly. And then obviously Thompson, Laura, because they both consistently top 8 at LVO.
Sure.
No.
Back to
sorry, Thompson, Laura. I just pointed you up. I'm just pointing Anthony up. It's hard to snap pick. Lucas has been solid. I think he deserves a shot, and it's always good to take a couple of new bloods.
You got room for 2 more new bloods.
I got room for. Do I want 2 more new bloods?
I'm just putting it out there.
Oh, did I put Nathan on the list?
Yes.
Okay. Gagnon if he was willing to play, but he probably won't.
You picked Nick, so we're in
yeah,
wild
I know.
nonsense town. One more.
I gotta look at the CR. I gotta look at the fucking results from LVO. Like, whose name am I forgetting? Because I feel like I'm forgetting somebody.
Letting LVO decide who makes the team, by the way.
No, I'm more looking at it for the names of people. I put TJ on. I think TJ deserves a shot.
TJ at 8. All right. Jeremy?
Oh, all right. So
Put Jaime on instead of Gagnon. I think that if Jaime
Okay.
Jaime plays in the
I was
States,
going to pick Jaime as my first of the non-core. So Jack and John, Anthony, Naden, those are, I think, gimmies. Jaime should be on there. I want to say Naj has a shot at it.
Naj, okay.
Nicholas Olsen Johnson.
He did impress Nick.
Put the whole next generation on.
Pardon?
Just put the whole next generation on. It'll be fine.
I mean,
I said he impressed Vic, which is good.
That is definitely a good thing. So I got 5.
Yeah.
5,
Two,
6?
yeah, 2 more. You have 6 currently.
TJ?
Okay.
Would love to see him on there because so far of the list that I've given, there isn't really good chaos representation.
Besides me, but yeah, sure.
Well, yeah.
That's what we said. Good chaos representation.
It's fine.
You have world eaters.
I was the first person both of you said, so you can't hurt my feelings.
You're here.
If you don't make the team, something went horribly wrong.
I'm just saying.
And I need one more. I don't want to say like Lucas comes to mind, but actually, come to think of it, now I'm going to feel terrible because I can't remember the name of the third TNG guy.
Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler.
All right. Those are your teams. They picked them just now. Neither of them are accurate, but they did a good job.
That's fine. We weren't going for
We weren't expecting to be accurate.
No, jokes about accuracy aside, we only have 4 players picked. The rest Sean will pick later. Sean is not actually giving himself a slot until we get to selection. So there are 4 players that don't include Sean currently.
Oh,
good. Does Sean even want to play? That would be my follow-up to that.
I mean, if 4 people show up and show out between now and WTC and fuck real hard, Sean will show up and lend his experience and do non-playing captain shit. And if 3 people do and we think that we need 40k Jesus,
there's so many more questions.
The terror of the Euros, then we'll, go that way.
Right. We're going into speed mode for this next set.
Yeah, hustle.
Right. What do you look for in a potential WTC team candidate?
Not a dick, good at the game.
Not a dick, okay at the game, willing to get better consistently and over time.
That's fair.
Doesn't care if I throw them on doesn't care if I throw them on a different faction than what they're used to playing.
That too. What does a World Center terrain format look like? It doesn't. We will never get there. This will never happen.
Yep.
Don't worry about it. There's a bunch of stuff about player placed that I'm going to glaze over because player placed with fixed medium, it's like put ruins where you can hide in them and then also run to places to hide so you can get to them.
Yeah. I will say Francois gave a really good, in show question discussions, gave a really good answer to that on how to stage with player place with that specific layout. That's my layout that he was referring to. So Francois is really experienced with that. Take advantage of the Discord. People sometimes have a lot of really good experience outside of us.
Our Discord's great. You should definitely check it out at patreon.com/NatCheck. What's the favorite food you had in Vegas besides stripper's ass?
Excellent question. Whoever asked that, very funny.
That was Tim's response.
Yep.
Favorite food you had in Vegas. The hash go bacon was really good. The bacon waffles, the chicken was too much. The bacchanal was the bacchanal. It was a buffet that served brisket and bacon slab and prime rib. Like you can't really. I don't know how you compete.
Did you find the unlimited Wagyu?
I did not. I didn't know there was Wagyu there.
There was.
Oh, why did nobody tell me that? I'm hurt.
I didn't find out until afterwards either. But yes, apparently that is.
Okay, so I need to go back to Vegas. at least once more.
We can go on the cheaps, but not go to the tournament if that works.
We just see if they need refs next year, or if like the Sigmar doubles has players or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll go for Old World. That'll be what we'll do.
Yeah. No. But yeah.
Okay. Do you think the World Eaters book is the 10th edition coming for Codex is probably pretty close to it?
Probably, yeah.
I, honest to God, hope they can hit this standard. World Leaders is very simple but very fun. So if they can do that, then
If
I
they
don't
can
love the limitations on Warlord traits and relics just being kind of
But I mean,
bleh. But
you
I mean,
only
that hurts
used to
us.
only have one warlord trait.
yeah,
I think having more is cool. But
yeah,
It's cool,
I kind
but
of
is it
broadly
necessary?
like let people use toys. If you're going to print these cool rules, it'd be cool if you could use some of them in competitive environments.
Yeah.
I don't feel like you need to do the whole hog that we have now with like the 3 and 3, but like you get one relic, one warlord trait for free, and then you can buy one of the other ones. I wouldn't mind, or something like that, just a little bit more than what we get.
Sam just burning it down in the
Yeah,
fucking
no, I know.
that
You're
feels
right.
bad,
I
man.
wouldn't ref for LVO. Tournament is it more important for terrain to be rules functional? Yes, that one. Yep, that one. I would have played on the LGT foam core terrain and been happy about it if it was more because it was more playable than LGT or than LVO.
Yep.
So, yes, my Legion LVO 2024. Let's go. 100%. I'm there for that.
Yeah, but then you have to go to LBS though.
Yeah, that's fine. But the Legion sure seems like they actually did a good job.
There'll be no Legion terrain, it'll be a mess. I don't know if that game needs terrain. I'm just talking out of my ass now.
It does.
Keep it
Yeah.
moving. Next question.
What's your favorite kind of bread or pastry? It has to be savory, no diabetes. S.
The whatever fucking meat bread pie thing I ate in that game store in Scotland that morning.
A steak pie.
Whatever the fuck that was after I had that can of dragon soup was probably the best food I've ever had in my entire life. So
We'll take you and Anna to Greg's when you're over here again.
oh, God, that shit was so good.
As far as like a bad bread or pastry, like the generic sausage roll, man, like the British Scottish sausage roll. It's a tube of meat that you don't ask where it came from inside hot pastry. What could you what
Can't
could
go wrong with that.
Brioche or potato roll on burgers?
Potato.
Brioche.
Brioche is too
I
rich
like
for a
brioche.
burger.
I like brioche. I mean, maybe in like your side of the world where it's all full of sugar and stuff.
Yeah.
Potato roll, I would just like put a tatty scone on the burger. Like that's fine. You can have potato on your burger as well.
That was good.
If you're having chips and potato, like I feel like it's too much potato. Or fries and potato. Preferred type of bread for an egg sandwich? Any? Egg is good.
Yeah.
What unit in each faction best dictates the plays? Whatever the Terminator equivalent is. So it's Aberrants and G-Star cults, and then Terminators everywhere else.
Nailed it.
Everybody knows this. What's the difference between playing an off-meta version of an army and just taking different stuff for the sake of being different? One of them is bad. It's up to you to figure that out. It's really difficult. Sometimes you look at a list, you're like, is this off-meta or is this guy just trolling? Usually it helps to look at the nameplates when you do that. Nameplates off is a great way to like evaluate lists and stuff like that. But sometimes you're just going to be like, is this guy real or is this guy just showed up?
Yeah. And what he means by nameplates is if they have nameplates on their models, it's snowflaking.
No. I'm stealing video game terms again. Come on, let me have this. Yeah, it's really difficult to just be like, yo, this is a bad list versus this is something that somebody's trying. Often the result is the same because, off meta doesn't always get to play into the thing that it's, tech to beat. Sometimes you just, you try some snowflake stuff or you try some stuff that's counter meta and you just get stonewalled by Tau. It's not like, the process is different. The result can often be the same. So my general advice is if it looks off meta until it proves it's better than you, just kill it and hope for the best.
Yep.
How have you balanced wanting to take the best stuff to wanting to run one or two passion project units? I don't. I just run the stuff I like, except Hackathon, who was there because I didn't want to pay after LVO.
Yep. I just don't worry about the passion project part because my entire
passion project list.
Passion project part.
Passion projects are RTTs.
Exactly.
You gotta separate yourself.
God Walker.
God, I'm so upset I can never play that again. but I did sure get my Arctic Key win with Magus and Mortari in this edition.
I mean, you could play Godwalker in Orc.
No, you can't. Supreme Commander's a 1 per detachment.
Who? Is it
There's
locked like
no
that?
way around.
Did I
Yeah,
not
there's
read
no way
that
around
rule?
it.
Glaze
There's no
that
way
because
around-
that's not a
there's
thing.
no way
I
around
want
it.
to
Because it was in the little
So
text box
upsetting.
on how you build a detachment.
do. Yeah.
What's your favorite bad unit?
My favorite bad
Aberrant.
unit. Talos.
I was going to say Outriders, but they're not anymore.
What, a unit? Yeah, agreed. That's taking up one of your land speeder slots. What the fuck are you on about?
I know. That's the problem, is that if I had slots, I would actually take Outriders now, because they're 35 points a model.
So Outriders, it's fine. You could say Outriders.
Yeah, Outriders.
If the butcher's nails make you angry and bloodthirsty, what do baker's nails do? They make you a candlestick maker.
Oh.
What does the World Eater's Mirror look like?
A fucking nightmare. Don't play that. That sounds like a goddamn shit show.
It looks about as bad as the Bile Mirror.
Is it as bad as the Votan Mirror, where if you take Ancestors of Watching, it counts judgment tokens on the battlefield, not just your ones that are out?
Surely not.
No. No way.
Yep.
Oh no.
Rob ruled against that.
Okay, yeah, because that's reasonable.
It technically does just say number of judgment tokens on the battlefield, reduce your score by that. So
hell yeah.
Secondary objectives. Leagues of Votan. Ancestor. At the end of the battle, reduce the number of victory points you have earned from this secondary objective by 1 for each unit that is on the battlefield that has 1 or more judgment tokens.
Hell yeah, dude.
So the Votan Mirror, it's the Votan Mirror is scuffed for different reasons.
So I want to address Luke's comment saying that my favorite bad unit is the Dark Shroud. No, because that actually has play if Guard get good. If Guard figure out what they're supposed to do and start being
Don't
played
Guard
a lot.
ignore modifiers?
Not
No,
the
they're
tanks.
Not on Russes, I get that, but
the Russes are what you're
If you-
scared about. What you're most scared about is running your speeders.
right.
And if you get shot by Cassican, you're not going to live anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
What data variable would you like to add to Stat Collection?
Terrain.
I think there'd be an easy way to actually parse lists and pull out like unit winners and stuff like that, but there isn't one. So
I would love to be able to parse lists like that.
until everybody gets real cool about list formats.
Or we have a unified list submission system
Or app.
or app that
That works.
handles everything.
And was good and free and
Let's not get crazy. I'd pay for a good app, but
I feel like your list building app should just be free. Like, you can pay all the rules, but like you should be able to build a free list. If you're gonna make it the standard that everybody has to use, it should probably be free.
if it fucking owns, I'll pay for it. I'm just saying, like,
I'm just saying to make it the free. Right. What is the name of your World Eater spawn? Did Terry change legions?
no, his name is Jerry now.
He's Jerry.
Yeah.
Should it not be Carrie for corn?
No, there's 3 of them, right?
Ah, right.
Yeah.
So Carrie can Carrie be the third one?
Yeah. Well, there's Carrie, Jerry, and Barry.
Terry just die?
Where's Terry?
Terry's in the Emperor's Children.
Oh, okay, right. You're confusing me.
You're busy.
So you have
What
4
did you
spawns.
do? Terry ignores hit modifiers. The other one has +1 to charge and a feel no pain.
Right, got you.
Spawn get blood
What's
time.
the-
Which is very
What's
annoying.
the origin behind the joke that David Gaylor plays the higher damage pile? David Gaylor spent a bunch of time saying Leviathan was quite difficult to play. It wasn't.
Yeah. David said it was harder than Emperor's Children, which is just like not true. Emperor's Children isn't rocket science. Levy is real easy.
And then he's moved on to Thousand Sons after that, which are actually quite complicated to play.
Legitimately
But that meant the joke followed.
Yeah.
Because if you're wrong about something, and then right about something, we're
Too
just
late.
going to pretend you were just wrong the whole time.
Yeah.
Or right the whole time.
Memes stay regardless.
Each of you are involved in refining your nation's WTC team. What are some of the big learning lessons your new applicants and players are finding during scrims, i.e., way WTC players play, parametrics? Sometimes your opponent is just going to play like a bitch, and there's nothing you can do to stop them.
Yeah.
And everything that you know about a matchup is suddenly wrong because your opponent's not trying to win.
your local Eldar player is not representative of the best Eldar player in another country.
Yeah, that's.
But I always win this
every WC
matchup.
captain
No, it's
eventually
a
becomes an
20-0
Eldar player.
in their favor.
Yeah, sometimes you fuck around and sometimes you find out is basically the short version of what a lot of my prospects have learned about the Euros.
Yep.
Yeah, you rock up and it's like, yeah, so this dude's been playing Eldar since 5th edition. He's the best player in his country, the best player within the next 4. He's going to beat you. I'm sorry, you're going to have to live with that. And then,
Try to get your 2 points.
Like, your
Unfortunately,
opponent will
he's also
sometimes just be
got-
like, I'm not coming out from behind this wall. I don't need to win. You just need to not win big. What's your plan, buddy?
And then they push, and then you get fucking owned.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. It's like sometimes you just got to sit there and accept that this is a 13, not a 17. Despite the fact that, yes, you hard counter them. No, they're not coming out.
It's not going to matter. It's fine. Just hang out, score. It's okay.
Just score your points. You'll be done in half an hour. You can go to the bar. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's been the biggest learning for all of our prospects and our reserve squad. It's been like, you think this is an 18? This is a 12. You're going to win. You are not going to win by 40 points.
And sometimes you do, and then it blows out rounds.
Yeah, it's great. It's great when it happens. It's great when you win a scrim against another country when there were still 3 games left to be played.
And this is just like a screen to bring home 10 points this year.
Don't worry about it. Top tips for strategy players to be more aggressive in 20-0 system and be that more sword player. I don't know, man. Play shooting armies or play combat armies that you're real confident with.
I was going to say, it's almost always going to be... I like having played a fair amount of WTC now and playing...
There are just not... You don't get... 20s are not common. Don't expect 20s.
It's like you shoot when you get 20. 20s have to be like something went horrible to beat a WTC player bot, like a 20-0. Like something really fucked up has to have happened.
Yeah, like when I was playing the harder rounds of WTC for us, like when we were punching up, like I'm getting first turn in a favorable matchup and getting like 17s as like levy nids in like almost peak. Like that's the condition you should expect to be get like. If your matchup's like a 15 and you get the favorable conditions, you swing it up to like a 17 or an 18 on the really good side. And like you should be thankful when that happens. You should not be getting 20 to that level of play.
Those last like 4 or 5 points are real difficult to like choke out of a person.
Yeah. Like the conditions where I got like the 20 I got at WC was against Norway, where I went first in a good deployment against a Necron player that made a mistake. And I overran into his deployments on turn 1 and scored behind enemy lines with warriors. Like that's the condition for 20s at WTC. That shouldn't happen. It's just it's just a different level. Even in like you gotta be real pushing your opponent for like turn 1 concedes is for 20s because you just naturally get primary. Like you go your opponent gets a turn 2 in secure missing artifacts. You're not getting 20 points.
It's like
just straight up. Yeah, like they're gonna drop 15. They're gonna drop 11 primary on you plus whatever secondaries they scored. Like at that point, you're too far gone.
Yeah.
Still very learning to have Archfoam. If you had to make a quick patch to make a balanced game, what would it be? And how do you think GW manages to not do it?
Quinn secondaries down a bit. Codex Warfare cap it at 5 a turn again.
Undo the doctrine change.
Yeah, probably. I like it.
Leave Codex Warfare where it's at and undo the doctrine change.
I actually think the doctrine change is fine. I think the doctrine
Iron
change
Hands.
is fine. Iron Hands are allowed to be strong. That's okay. Like I think that's fine. I think they're
I would ramp Codex Warfare down. I would make Thunderhammers cost points for Marine Sergeants.
I mean, like Melta should cost points. Like those guns being free is dumb as shit.
Yeah,
like free war gear is flatly a bad idea. You shouldn't have done that. It's a bit late now, but maybe just add the warrior cost back in.
Most war gear is free to begin with. They just change which ones you pay for.
What do you mean most war gear is free? Because I pay for every fucking thing I equip in CSM.
You play for your compy bolters?
No, but like the base weapons are free.
No, but like what I mean is that like I can't really use CSM as an example because they don't have the same variety, but within Space Marines, as an example, intercessors, if you looked at a regular intercessor and you looked at the 3 variants of bolters, all have very different outputs, and one you would always take, which was the auto bolters.
But there was reasons to take other ones, right?
There were reasons, but they were all costed the exact same, 0 points.
Sure, but there's a stark hilarious difference
That and a meltgun.
between that and a melt-a-gun.
Sure, but most melt-a-guns aren't free.
That's just not true.
That's like they're 10 points in Devastators. But like I like the way they did it with Devastators, where they just baked in the base cost. When they went up 5 points a model, the guns went down to 0.
Yeah,
Except the
that's the
melt-
kind
which is
of
10
that's the
points.
kind of,
That
of,
I'm
of
fine
pointing
with.
that I like. The
Sure.
Thunderhammers is I agree with they should not be free, but like
Yeah.
you look at the like throwing a chainsword on a guy that doesn't normally have a chainsword is free. It gives him an extra attack. You're always going to take it.
Yeah, but that's
Sure.
the same thing as like, all right, so I get a free Thunderhammer and a free Combi Mela, and my scouts get a free missile launcher, Thunderhammer, and Combi Mela. Like,
Yeah,
it's just
no,
not the
that,
same
to that
skill.
degree, it does not make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like Terminators. I don't get why their Thunderhammer structures are free.
What the fuck are we doing?
Even if it was just like it should be like 5 points. I get it. 10 was too expensive because they were expensive models and they weren't that great outside of specific Dark Angels. Dark Angels should probably just not get base Terminators and they should only get their custom options, which should just be pointed differently. Anyway.
Yeah. I think the doctrine change can stay in if you make Marines cost enough. I literally played Iron Hands last night and I had like 18 more units than I should. It was ludicrous.
Yeah.
Like
Iron Hands are so good at MSU, it's insane.
well, Master or Artisan Iron Hands specifically, yeah.
What if I just had all these multi-metas that are all functionally 3 shots?
Yep.
Just in case. Is there any reason not to take 3x1 spawn with World Eaters? Probably not.
Not that I can think of. If you want to run a Blood Slaughter, sure, but it's still wrong.
What's the worst model GW has made, and why are they flash kits?
Oh, poor Seth.
I mean,
No,
they're
it's the Pumbaa Gore from the Razor Gore from the Beastman range. That thing was awful.
that thing's not great.
We should definitely get one of those for Pumbaa Alpine Cup.
Some of the dragons in Fantasy were pretty rough looking.
Like the old S-bend ones that looked like you could flush toilet paper down them.
Yeah, they're weird looking.
What was easier to play, Creations of Bile or Crusher? I don't know. I didn't play Bile.
It's probably Crusher, because like the matchups that Creations loses, it like super loses, whereas you always got a hand in the game as Crusher with Hive Guard.
Yeah, Crusher was like it wasn't all pilot, but it was as close to it as you reasonably got, while still having like there was skill expression there, but it wasn't much.
I mean, there was a big difference between like winning an event with Crusher and going X and 1.
Yeah. But like getting to X and 1 was real low,
real easy to
real
get X
low
and 1.
bar.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, man, do you know how to say the words breaking through? You will probably win 4 out of 5 games.
Buy enemy models.
Did you know to run Harpies was like the one bar that list really had, and a bunch of people did not, and that was real painful.
It was also easy to make a bad creations list with like an Apostle and a bunch of Terminators in it. Fucking trolling.
What does your dream event look like?
I mean, this is massive shill incoming. The WTC. Like, ship it, no notes is how I feel about last year's WTC. Like,
please better flooring. That's all I request.
Yeah, sure, but like that's you can bring your own for that. Just bring.
Yeah, no, we will be.
Like that, and if I could recreate Coventries for singles events, I would do those every weekend I was available. Like those were great.
Yeah, as far as feasible events, I'm with you on both of those. As far as like dream event, round robin, best of 3 WTC. Let's do it.
Yeah, if Pipe Dream, you have the energy to do that. You have 2 weeks to play out an event. That would be absolutely fucking fantastic.
2 months, buddy. I'm talking like a round of country per day, weekends off. Like,
oh, all right, yeah, that's starting to get close to the dream. Okay, but the problem is that by like
2 months a year, you play every other country in the world.
A weekend, you're going to hate your list, though. Is the problem?
Yeah.
Sure, man. Whatever.
But no, yeah, I'd agree on the WTC side of things. My only commentary would be the floors, because I blew out my knees running around those floors.
I would also probably be on board with like 2-2-2-1 rather than 3-2-2.
I think they're doing. Neil is going to correct me in chat. I know, or on once he's listening.
I don't remember what that. I don't.
But they are changing it up.
I don't remember what it was.
They're not doing 3 rounds in a day ever again because that 14-hour day killed their refs.
I do want to point out real quick that like I've had a bunch of people ask me if singles is open, and yeah, like
Yes.
you can just play the War Master. Please do that. If you travel for only one event this year, that should be the one you travel for. The War Masters is dope, and you have an opportunity to play really good players very consistently in a very cool environment. Again,
It's mental how good the average level of that event is.
yeah. So again, if you can only do one event, and it is a golden ticket event according to Neil, I believe. If you can only
Belgium's
do one,
super easy to get to. Belgium's super cool. You can hang around for the WC, or you can go to do like anything in Europe from there.
yeah,
Like you finish on the
Go-
Thursday, spend the Friday traveling, go and have a weekend in literally anywhere in Europe within a couple of hours. You want to
Yep.
do London, you want to do Germany, you want to do Paris, do any of it from Belgium. No, absolutely no bother.
yeah, super, super worth it. Mecklen's dope. Like, there's a lot of reasons to do it. Again, if you're gonna travel for anything this year, go to War Masters.
100%.
And lose to me, that'd be great. All right, boys, we are going to end it up there. One nice thing about this is I no longer have like a hard deadline of I need to be in bed because whatever.
This is your job now.
This
Welcome
is
to
my
work.
job now. I know. So thank you everybody so much for being with us. I'll do a quick repeat of the plugs. You can check us out every Tuesday. That is going to be at 11 p.m. GMT. It's going to be 6 p.m. Eastern, and then various other times across the US. It's definitely a time in Australia. I refuse to recognize that place as a country. So, figure it out. But you can check us out at youtube.com/CSAStatcheck for that live show every week. You can also catch all of our back episodes and all of our bonus content once it comes live to everybody. If you want to catch that bonus content a little bit earlier, such as the wonderful Enter the Matrix that's done by Typhus, or you want to catch up with us on Discord, ask these show questions, get involved. We have a really great community in there that's been super, super cool interacting with all of the guys. You can check us out at patreon.com/statcheck for, I believe it's $5 a month. You can get access to all of that. It's one of the best deals in 40K. I can't highly recommend it. So yeah, please check us out there. Thank you everybody for being with us. This has been episode 30. We'll be back same time, same place next week. Have a great one.
See ya.
Oh, wait, no. Button. It's not working. Work with me.
Bye-bye.
Bye.